story begins in 1881. That was the year that a couple of old friends from New England came down here in February. They were looking for health and wealth, and I think they found it. They bought property and they set out to build the first planned community in the state. And what they were trying to do was get wealthy northerners to come down here for the winter time so they could enjoy that season the way we do here in Florida. In the sunshine, no shoveling, no sugaring. They built it, people came, and they called it Winter Park. Now, it sure didn't hurt that the railroad had just come to town. That was handy for business. And 5 years after they arrived, there was a lovely hotel on that shore called the Seminole. It had more than 200 rooms, making it the largest in the state. By contrast, we didn't have 200 people in town. This was kind of a backwater. But that backwater consisted of a lovely chain of lakes connected by streams. We had the hotel up and running. We did great business for 16 winters. And then we lost the hotel to an off-season fire in 1902, but we've roared back. We're doing fine, thank you. Instead of a hotel on that particular piece of land now sits a museum. That is the Palaschik Museum and Sculpture Garden. Gardens, plural. It is the home of more than 200 works of a famous Czechoslovakian artist, a sculptor by the name of Albin Palaschik. He used to live there and work there, but for the past few years it's been a museum. You can go to that museum and all of our museums any day but Monday. All our museums shut down on that day for some strange reason. Right next door, and I'm sorry we're losing sight of it, but you saw it quickly, I hope there. That is the Capen House, one of our oldest, not this one, that one. It was built in 1885. Actually, that is not a secret, that's public record. The secret is where it was built, and it wasn't there. Nope, it was across the lake. And it stood there for more than a century until 8 years ago when somebody bought it. They were going to tear it down. Instead of that happening, this year, they cut it in half over there where it stood. Top to bottom, they put each piece on a barge and floated it over here to the museum. That took 2 years, but those trips across the water, 20 minutes each. Now you can rent the Capen House the next time you want to throw a big party, and we would be pleased as punch to take part as transportation. We do it all the time. This is an old logging canal called the Fern Canal. Early on, we had a lumber industry, so of course we had lumberjacks cutting our trees. They needed a way of getting the logs to a sawmill that sat on the next lake. Well, they took a look at the streams. They thought, these will do if we dig them deeper and wider. They did. Then they thought they could plop the logs in at this end and pick them up at the other. Observe the current. It goes this way. They wanted to go that way. Okay, strike one, boss. What do we do? Mule teams. That's what they did, because nothing, even in Winter Park, floats upstream. Quick left and look up high. That is a long needle southern pine. That would have been the tree they would have been favoring back then. Don't know why that one missed the cut. Up ahead is Osceola Avenue over our heads, and I'm going to check our height here. Okay, I like the hat. Keep it. You, sir, may need to duck. If you want to keep that hat, you might want to duck. Up front, sir, you might be a candidate for a duck. The problem is these pipes. The water's high, the pipes are low. It's a bad combination. So I would suggest a duck. Here's something even Winter Park residents struggle with. The street has 4 names in a half-mile. Fairbanks, Osceola, Brewer, Aloma. Don't try to remember the names, please. But if you're tall or claustrophobic, please do remember to duck. Or you might not remember anything until tomorrow morning. Everybody good? That was world-class ducking there, young lady. And you didn't even need to. Okay, the Masters is underway up in Augusta, so I'm allowing a mulligan on the first duck. You get to do it over. Under this live oak branch. This is kind of a squirrel super highway. Just duck. Okay, good. It always just makes the heart race just a little bit. Okay, you did great. These are condominiums, yes. I'm especially fond of that one in the corner. Okay, here's your reward for being good duckers. Please look low, look left, and by all means lower your expectations. There's an alligator over here, kind of a stoner. But he'll be right there on the way back, guaranteed. Along with his friend, the attack frog, who's subtly an expert on orchids. Go figure. Everybody's got a side hustle these days. This is Lake Virginia. It was named by the guy that ran the sawmill all those years back. He was from the Commonwealth. But our first non-native settlers were actually Georgians. Their name was Mizell. David Mizell and his family came down here just before the Civil War. They settled over here to our left. They called their settlement Lakeview. Now that view was a little bit different back then. None of these big places, just a little log cabin on 8 acres of land, which they used to raise citrus, cattle, cotton, and kids. Big family. And we remember the Mizells with a lake of their own. Take a look over here through this little bridge. Little sliver of Lake Mizell. In fact, no big thing itself, only 62 acres in size. There it is. Perfect for paddle sports. Now the secret of this place, this little starter home off to the left, is the fact that it actually started off as a gentleman's club, but not the kind you gentlemen are thinking. It was the 1920s, after all. The businessmen of Winter Park got together and built that center section, just that, as a clubhouse. A place they could gather at night, play some cards, have some laughs. They built it, but it did not go well when they opened it. Not much business. We think the wives found out about it. That was the end of that. They sold the property. The guy that bought it left it to Rollins College over there. They taught music over here for years, but now it's back in private hands. And one of the owners thought it needed to be bigger, so he expanded with the wings and added the most beautiful lawn on the chain. The secret? That's AstroTurf. Don't judge, you thought of it. He actually pulled it. This is called sunrise every morning over Lake Mizell and sunset here over Lake Virginia. That's a pretty good day, right there. Now I mentioned the Genius family. You're going to see their estate, but the real genius in the story of our town might be a guy by the name of Morse. Charles Hosmer Morse. You came down Morse Boulevard to find us. Thank you. There's the Morse Museum on Park Avenue. The world's most comprehensive collection of Louis Comfort Tiffany's works. Don't try it on Monday. They won't let you in. The only glass you'll see is the front door. So why was Morse a genius? What did he do? He bought property. 200 acres of it was right here between the lakes. He did that. You could do it for $3 an acre. Today, anything on our chain will cost at least $1. It will be an acre and it will not come with a house. You would have to build one. Here's the house the Genius family built over there in the trees. That is Windsong. Dates back to the 1930s. It sits on 50 acres. It's undeveloped. It will never be developed. It's a nature preserve. By the way, no one lives in the house. That's just there. It's locked. Don't get any crazy ideas here. So there is an upcoming event there. There are very few, but this one is a tree. It's the last Saturday in April. So if you're a runner, you can see the Genius estate. For the rest of the year, it's pretty much taken up by our peacocks. The peacock is the official bird of Winter Park. We have about 20 left back there. We don't see them too often, but we sure hear them, and they sound like hats. All right, let's hang on to our hats, our children, and our checkbooks. We're off to college. Right, it is the oldest in Florida. Don't let anyone from Stetson tell you anything different. When they opened the doors here in 1885, the Rollins tuition for the year was $32. Another $132 for room and board. Isn't that nice? Honey, write the check quickly. I'm afraid there might be a price hike. Yeah, there have been a few. Nowadays, the tuition here is $170. I'm sorry, not one, just $74,000 a year. But that includes the room and board. The better news, I suppose, is this: 94% of the students get some kind of financial aid. But you know what? There's an easy way to get through Rollins for free. It's called the Watershed Trail. It goes from one end of campus to the other, hugs the shoreline. You never lose sight of the lake or of the beautiful Spanish architecture that predominates on this campus. You can do it anytime, day or night. One of the first things you'd see over there on this path is the ski jump. Oh, a quick bookkeeping item. Did any of you upgrade to the ski jump option? Good. That's a little rough on the boats. Here's where that path begins. You see the pier over there? It is not for swimming. That's not allowed here. It's for sunbathing. Now, if you're sunbathing, we would urge discretion. We're out here every hour. It's not exactly the Riviera, but there is a woman from the neighborhood that likes to push the envelope out there. I don't see her today, and that's fine.